Test. Chris, can we have Kay test her audio and visual real fast?
Absolutely.
Okay, I just did.
All right, perfect.
Great.
We'll have the mayor go ahead and call on you when we get to the presentation.
Very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Kay. So actually, Kay, we'll have you go ahead and turn off your video and and go ahead and mute yourself just until we're ready. Thank you.
Gotta go now.
Those are my crazy eyes, Judy.
It's 5:30. Right? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can we call the meeting to order? I have to have Kathy tell me.
Sorry, we're good for 5:30.
Okay, so good evening and welcome to the January 11th, 2022 Vista Consolidated Meeting. The meeting is now called back to order. The meeting is utilizing teleconferencing and electronic means consistent with City Council Resolution number 2021-2110. In the event a quorum of the City Council loses electrical power or suffers an internet connection outage that is not corrected within 10 minutes, the meeting will automatically be adjourned. Any items noticed as public hearings will be continued to the next regularly scheduled evening meeting of the City Council. Any other items on the agenda that the council has not taken action on will be placed on a future agenda. So are we doing a roll call again? City Clerk, do we do a second roll call?
Yes,
Okay, I'll turn over to the City Clerk.
thank you. Mayor Ritter,
Oh, present.
Deputy Mayor Franklin,
Present?
Councilmember Green,
Here.
Councilmember Contreras,
Present.
Councilmember Melendez.
Here.
Also joining us are City Manager Patrick Johnson and City Attorney Walter Chung, and all members of the council are present.
Okay, so in accordance with the Brown Act, I'd like to announce that as a result of convening simultaneous meetings, the members of the Buena Sanitation District will receive compensation of $147.75 for the district meeting pursuant to Buena Sanitation District Ordinance 2006-1. For the members of the public that are participating through Zoom, you may raise your hand to indicate you'd like to speak by clicking the raise hand feature on your screen or by pressing *9 on your phone. Instructions on how to join the meeting through Zoom are provided on the agenda cover sheet. You may only speak on an item once, and public comment is limited to 3 minutes. So with that, I have approval of the agenda by our City Manager, Patrick Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. There are no changes to the agenda this evening.
Okay, our Assistant City Attorney, Walter Chung, is going to bring us out of our closed session.
Thank you, Your Honor. There is no reportable action coming from tonight's closed session.
Okay, that takes us to our presentations, and we have one presentation this evening. If any members of the public wish to speak on this item, they may indicate so by the raise hand feature or by pressing *9 now. Speakers will be called on after the presentation. Councilmember Melendez has invited Kay Van Neville from Seroptimus International Vista to provide a presentation on human trafficking. So welcome, Kay, and looking forward to your interesting presentation.
Thank you very much. I will first of all thank Katie for the invitation to speak and how timely it is that today is National Human Trafficking Awareness Day. And I appreciate the council's interest in this subject, which is a difficult one. The issue itself has, of course, gone on since the beginning of time. And in today's world, it seems totally upside down. The lack of honoring human rights and each other's humanity is almost more than any of us can take. As a seroptimist, I became interested in this subject in 2005 when our then president, Catherine Manis, was working at the town site community partnership. She learned that one of the girls who came to Lifeline had been sold by her father to other men and reported that back to our club, and we began the research at that point. And we learned some awful things. We learned that $180 million was going into the pocket of the predators on a yearly basis. And for some reason, that amount of money seems to stay. I'm sure it's a lot higher than it is now. We learned that law enforcement failed to treat many of the women they brought in as possible victims. Prostitution is illegal, and that was the first order of action. we learned that not enough people knew what was going on, as is said right in our own backyard. I just want to mention that Seroptimus is primarily a women's organization. We work to educate and train women toward empowerment so that they can support their families or assist in support of their families. This is a global organization, and certainly in the third world countries, the lives of women are much worse than they are in this country. However, we have a huge number of human trafficking victims. In fact, San Diego is the 13th largest city in the United States for human trafficking. And you may think that, they're coming across the border, which they are. However, 72% of the victims of human trafficking are United States citizens. That number absolutely shocked me. And of course, when you think about it, we have access to the internet. That's a great place for predators to advertise. The young girls, particularly during the pandemic now, out of school, not right at this moment, but for that very long period of time when schools were closed, access to the internet without any kind of parental control, and looking for admiration, somebody to talk to. The predators knew that and absolutely jumped on that possibility. What we thought was important as we began this research, that we needed to make awareness the first step. We ourselves needed to learn. And in the process, we began the North County Anti-Human Trafficking Collaborative, which is an open meeting to the public, meeting every other month. We had a lot of interest right from the get-go. Representatives from law enforcement, Child Protective Services, North County Lifelines, Project Life, the faith-based community, a huge force. Tri-City Medical Center, Muslims Against Trafficking, Hope House, North County attorneys, area-wide seroptimists, and interested individuals. Over the course of the last 16 years, we've learned a lot, and there have been some good, positive progress. More safe shelters, not enough beds. One now in Escondido, which is called Grace House, was formerly Hope House. There's an ecumenical story here where the Catholic nuns, their congregation, as they referred to the group they belonged to, paid rent for the first year that Hope House became Grace House. Susan Johnson runs it. She also controls Alabaster Jar. She's the director. Alabaster Jar project includes Grace House. It also has a resource center for all sorts of items that women on the street, and there still are many, know to stop by to pick up. Free to Thrive is another one that just really amazes me. This is run by a woman, an attorney, a pro bono legal organization that counsels and works with victims to expunge records of survivors so that they can be hired. This is a huge step for these women. Many of them just maybe get out of the life, as it's called, but they can't go anywhere. There's an organization called A Bunch of Guys who solicit phony internet invitations. And when the callers come in, well, you can imagine what they're told. They're told, first of all, that it's not a victimless crime. And they're counseled. The idea being that education, even for these men who probably have never thought of it as anything but a pleasurable interlude, might think again. Monica Dean, who you probably know as the news anchor, she and her team put together a docudrama about 2 years ago called Stolen. And it is a human trafficking featuring San Diego human trafficking docudrama featuring San Diego District Attorney Summer Stephan, who is right behind all the various moves that we've made to improve the situation. Sheriff Bill Gore, local experts, and you may even recognize the name Jamie Johnson, who is a survivor leader. Summer Stephan's office put together a curriculum for human trafficking. They were able to get a grant, and it is in the schools. I think it's kind of a slow start, but this is such an important thing because you can be pretty sure that 7th and 8th graders know what's going on. And if they have the addition of legitimate information, it's going to help. The law enforcement, both in Vista and in Oceanside, are now trained to recognize victims of human trafficking and will call North County Lifeline's Project Life. There are therapists available 24/7, and they come in and provide critical intervention for these individuals who have experienced sex or labor trafficking, domestic servitude, commercial sexual exploitation. Project Life also provides trafficking prevention services for at-risk youth. Other attendees included representatives from SART, which stands for Sexual Assault and Response Team. They're from Palomar Hospital. Representatives from Tri-City Medical Center. Legislative expert who follows the Sacramento bills and encourages us, the members, my Seroptimus Club, to follow up on those that we support and those that we don't. I have one more. The United Nations. We are a part of the United Nations. The United Nations addresses the global issues of trafficking with Seroptimist input at their annual conferences. The 2000 Trafficking Victims Protection Act was the first national law that was passed. I have the information here. I would just suggest that you look up Polaris Project or simply the Trafficking Victims Protection Act to read it thoroughly. Let me see. So to close, we're making some strides. As I said, these crimes have been going on since the beginning of time, and the world suffers. Vista and neighboring cities are working tirelessly to reduce the homeless population and with temporary motel vouchers. You may never know how many young women and men you've saved from being trafficked. They are easy pickings. So I'm grateful to share this information in the hopes that one or more of you will attend our next collaborative meeting, Thursday, February 3rd, 9 o'clock, United Methodist Church in Vista. I really encourage you to join us for our 16th annual Human Trafficking Awareness Walk. This year, it will be at that same location. Usually we go to the library, but they're under construction. So we'll be starting at 10. Summer Stephan is going to speak at 10:30. She is really worth hearing. So I thank you again for this opportunity, and the survivors thank you for their freedom.
Thank you for your presentation. Does anybody have any questions of Kay?
Madam Mayor,
Pardon?
Madam Mayor, I just wanted to thank Kay for addressing the council on this incredibly important issue and for bringing attention and awareness to something that we all need to be thinking about, and for giving us the names of the organizations that we can be involved with that can help eliminate the problem. Thank you, Kay.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thank you.
Councilmember Melendez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And thank you so much, Kay, for coming and sharing this information and talking a little bit about the network of organizations and people who are working hard to stop these crimes from happening and assist survivors to recover. I'm really looking forward to your March coming up and future meetings about this topic. And I wanted to just give an opportunity to get a little bit more information from you about maybe your website for the Vistas for Optimists or some sort of social media or just additional information that people can reach out on their own. If you'd like to share that, I'm sure we'd all love to hear where we can find out more about what you're doing.
Sure. SirOptimistvista.org is our website. We have all the information about human trafficking there. I'm trying to pull out other things quickly here. 1 second. Well, I said the Polaris Project, and that's all you need to put in. I would put in North County Lifeline Project Life. These things aren't, totally in line with how they are, but it doesn't take much to open up these sites. Alabaster Jar Project, that's another great one. And I think that'll start you. It's good stuff.
Awesome. And you said it's SirOptimistvista.com and then
.org.
.org. And what is the date of your rally for human trafficking?
Well, I'm so glad you asked.
Just double checking that.
Saturday, January 29th.
Beautiful.
We will gather at 10. Summer will speak at 10:30. She has many events to attend this month. And then we will have others there too who I think will be of interest. But we will start the walk itself about 11. It's about a 1.4 mile round trip. And we'll have a lot of information tables. So Saturday, January 29th, 10 o'clock.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Kay. We appreciate that.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Kay, for your presentation. We appreciate it.
All righty. Goodbye.
All right. Thanks. Bye-bye. Okay, that takes us on to our, let's see, that was our presentation. So the city clerk, do we have any speakers that want to speak on that item?
No, we do not have any speakers. Thank you. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, someone just raised their hand. Let me take this one speaker. It is Yusef Miller. You'll have 3 minutes to speak. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. This is Yusef Miller. I'm the founder of Mosques Against Trafficking, and I want to thank Kay Van Neville for doing such an awesome job. Mosques Against Trafficking was founded in Vista, actually, in 2015. And this work is really imperative. A lot of people don't understand it or understand how it works. And it's due to wonderful people like Kay Van Neville and people throughout the county, Alabaster Jar Project, the survivors, that we are able to make an impact, especially here on this 78 corridor where we live here in North County. I'd also like to say that human trafficking affects all people in all walks of life. It is not an issue that is specific to our border when it comes to sex trafficking. That is a weaponized statement against our brown border, but actually it's an American problem which needs an American solution. So we need to all work together to make sure we save these over 80% American born and raised victims of human trafficking, with over 80% American born perpetrators as well. And I would like to also thank all of our males who are here and have a heart to come into this field and work to help. Males are the biggest part of the problem, and we need to be a part of the solution, a huge part of it. So I would like to welcome all the males to come join us on that march on the 29th of January. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, there are no other speakers at this time. So we'll go ahead and close that opportunity.
Okay, that takes us to our consent calendar. The recommendations of the following consent calendar will be enacted in one motion unless an item is removed from the calendar. Any member of the public can remove an item by using the raise hand feature or by pressing *9 now. Items removed from the consent calendar will be considered immediately following the adoption of the calendar. We have 9 consent items this evening. Would any of the city council members want to remove an item? I don't see any hands raised on that. And So Kathy, is there any, the public, does anybody from the public want to remove an item?
Nope, we do not have anyone that's raised their hands. We'll close the opportunity at this time.
Okay, so then I will entertain a motion.
I would offer the motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, Councilmember Green.
I will second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second, and seeing no further comments, please, how do we cast our votes?
We do the roll call vote.
Okay, we haven't done this in a while. I forgot how to do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry, it's a little time consuming. Councilmember Melendez,
Aye.
Councilmember Contreras,
Aye.
Councilmember Green,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Franklin,
Aye.
Mayor Ritter.
Yes.
Item passes unanimously.
Okay, that takes us to oral communications. This is an opportunity for the public to comment on agency-related matters that are not on the agenda. If any members of the public wish to address the City Council, they may indicate so by using the raise hand feature or by pressing *9 now. So City Clerk Valdez, do we have any members of the public that wish to provide oral communication?
Yes, Mayor, we have a couple. First will be Barbara Gordon. As a reminder, you'll have 3 minutes to talk. Go ahead, Barbara.
Thank you very, very much. I am a public health educator, and my work with young adults has me concerned with the high potency marijuana products that can contain up to 99% THC. These concentrates are the most popular products sold at the city's marijuana shops. But sadly, these products have the most devastating effect on users' mental health. In Colorado, they realized firsthand the devastation of high potency THC concentrates had on their young people's mental health. So Colorado passed a bill capping the percentage of THC concentrates that could be sold there. I applaud their efforts to save their young adults' mental health, and I would encourage the city to do the same. The California Department of Public Health currently indicated the most vulnerable demographics are the 21 to 24-year-olds who are experiencing the sharpest increase of marijuana use. This is an extremely vulnerable time for our young adults as they are acquiring the education and the skills they need really to be successful in life. Again, I am just here tonight to urge the City Council to follow Colorado's example and consider capping or regulating the percentage of THC concentrates as a part of your marijuana ordinance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Ula Rang. Go ahead, Ula.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Hi, my name is Ula Camilla Rang. I'm a very concerned California citizen. On January 20, NCTD will vote on whether they should forego the Coastal Act and go after sole decision-making power over the Bluff and beach of Del Mar, and against the rules of the Coastal Act and the wishes of Del Mar, install a 1.7 mile long ecologically and geologically destructive fence. This is not only about Del Mar. This is about NCTD not ever having to go through California Coastal Commission again, whose mission it is to protect a coastline, therefore the Coastal Act. If NCTD never again has to negotiate with any city on whose land the NCTD has laid the tracks, there will be no more protection of public access, no more environmental or geological reports. There will be no more negotiation about height or placement of fences nor construction. They will get free range, and I can guarantee you that your area will be next. Please advise your NCTD board member to vote no on January 20. NCTD should have to follow the same rules as everyone else and go through the California Coastal Commission for constructions. Yesterday, I sent you an email where I have attached a bullying and truth-twisting letter from NCTD to Del Mar, where they said they will proceed with their decision to fence Del Mar. I also attached a very concerned letter that the California Coastal Commission sent to Sandak in regards to NCTD's action, pleading with them to stand up for the Coastal Act as they were co-applicants to the fencing grant that NCTD is relying on. I hope you've had the opportunity to read them both. This is a very urgent matter for our whole region. In my letter yesterday, I also touched a graph that shows where on the 1.7 mile bluff stretch accidents happen and where a fence is needed, not along the whole bluff. The Coastal Act needs to be followed with an environmental impact report and an independent geological report. Please support your NCTD board member to vote no on January 20 for the sake of all of California and to protect the Coastal Act. Don't be the ones killing the Coastal Act and letting NCTD become the dictators of our coast. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Next is John Stahl. Go ahead, John.
Hello, I'm John Stahl. I live in Del Mar, and I'm speaking with you this evening to urge you to get in the fight to not only save a regional asset, but a national treasure. North County Transit District is holding a vote on January 20th to approve fencing off the entire upper bluff in Del Mar, and additionally adding fencing at the track level for 1.7 miles that will eliminate beach and recreational access to the 1 million plus visitors that come to Del Mar every year to enjoy the beach, the birds, the scenic views, and the sunsets. Using North County Transit District's own data, one can easily see that the issues are from Coast Boulevard to only 0.2 of a mile south of that crossing. Any fencing south of that is merely bureaucratic overreach. Drilling 2,000 post holes that are 3 feet deep and filled with concrete will only allow more water intrusion into an already fragile bluff. This makes absolutely no common sense. The California Coastal Commission issued a letter to SANDAG dated January 5th that calls the North County Transit District plan disjointed and inefficient. The letter goes on to say that the North County Transit District plan has the potential to result in significant adverse impacts to both coastal access and recreation. The commission letter adds that North County Transit District's stabilization plan will prevent the natural erosion processes that nourish the beaches. Lastly, the letter states that the proposed improvements and/or fencing would significantly disrupt or eliminate pedestrian access on existing informal access trails along the bluffs and down onto the beach that have been heavily used by the public for decades to traverse the bluff top, enjoy scenic coastal views, and access the beach and ocean. Together, these projects could have very significant impacts to the existing and historic public access and recreation. I'm calling on you to influence anyone who sits on the North County Transit District Board and have them vote no on this ill-conceived fencing plan on January 20th. Thank you for your time and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you. Next is Becky Rapp. Go ahead, Becky.
Good evening, Vista City Council. My name is Becky Rapp. I'm a parent and resident who is deeply concerned with public health and safety in our city. 2 weeks ago in the Union Tribune, 3 separate articles described how DUI fatalities are on the rise. Deaths from crashes involving impaired driving have surged this past year. DUI crashes in the county have killed 37 people in 2021, which is the largest number of deaths in at least 2 decades. Law enforcement officials have stated, when it comes to consuming drugs and/or alcohol and driving, there is a right and wrong choice. The wrong choice is to consume and then get in the car and drive away. It is no secret that Vista has pot shops and marijuana is easily accessible. With the 78 corridor, a main thoroughfare for Vista residents, as it goes directly through the city where accidents are frequented, I would like to remind you that that this is very dangerous and will continue to add to the DUI numbers. Marijuana is a drug and driving under the influence is still considered drug driving. Our DUI numbers don't lie, and marijuana is sending a message that is not deterring our young people from using and then driving. A tragic accident occurred near Vista when a teen high on marijuana struck a car, killing a father and son.
I would strongly encourage you to provide all the appropriate tools needed to help educate young people on the devastating consequences of drug driving. Maintaining small perfections we currently have in place are good, but I would ask that we strengthen those protections for the most vulnerable, our children. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, there are no other speakers, so we'll go ahead and close opportunity to comment at this time.
Okay, so that takes us to our remarks. I will give my little announcements and then we'll go to everyone else with their remarks. If you received, here, I'll put my glasses so I can read well. Okay, if you received a new electronic gift over the holidays and are wondering what to do with your old one, take them to the city's Household Hazardous Waste Drop-Off Center. The city offers free, convenient disposal for electronics. The Saturday hours of operation and the location are online at cityofvista.com, but you also need to be a resident in order to do that. The youth registration and preschool programs for the spring area are open for registration. Scholarships are available for income qualifying families. Go to vistarecreation.com for information on that. And lastly, the first community meeting on redistricting will be held this Saturday, January 15th at 2 p.m. at the Vista Academy of Visual and Performing Arts campus. That's VAPA, the VAPA campus. Learn about the redistricting process, how to submit draft maps, and provide your input. Details are available online at thecityofvista.com/districts or cityofvista.com/districts-Espanol. So those are the my announcements. And with that, I will go around and with everyone else. So I will start with the Deputy Mayor, John Franklin.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just want to thank everybody who presented and spoke this evening. I always appreciate the community's involvement and invite folks to reach out to each of us individually. We enjoy hearing from you and appreciate the dialogue. Thank you.
Okay, and then we'll go to Councilmember Green.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Not much, just Happy New Year to my council and to the citizens of Vista. Hoping that 2022 is super awesome. And we all set goals for ourselves every single year. This year, mine is like no other. Best grandpa on the planet, this guy. Have a great night, everybody. Taco Tuesday in Vista. Don't miss it. It's fire.
Okay, Councilmember Contreras.
I just want to invite everybody to Luz Duran Park. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so that means that between 9 a.m. and 9:15 we'll be getting together and on our way to pick up some trash for a little bit of time and then come back to the park. And also I want to let everybody know that tomorrow the San Diego Board of Supervisors will be voting on MICO, which is Micro Enterprise home kitchen operations. And it's actually been law here in the state since 2018 with AB 626, but the counties have to opt in. So basically what this means, if there's a yes vote, that means that for those who go through the permitting process, they'll be able to do a maximum of 30 meals per day with a maximum of 60 meals per week and income capped at 50,000. But it provides a great opportunity for us to build more community, especially for our senior friends who have had a really hard time during the pandemic. It's a way for them to get a nice, well-rounded hot meal, perhaps in their own neighborhood. So I look forward to hearing the Board of Supervisors discuss that, and I plan to call in probably while I'm picking trash. So Happy New Year to everybody, and that's all for me.
Councilmember Melendez.
Thank you. Not too much to add from me, just a Happy New Year and for everyone to stay safe. And I look forward to seeing you at the Rally for Human Trafficking on January 29th, Saturday. Have a good night.
Thank you. City Manager Patrick Johnson.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to let everybody know that the Civic Center will remain closed to the public. We'll have limited services available from code enforcement to senior center to construction inspection, building inspection, and other services. However, we won't be physically present in the Civic Center for the public for the remainder of the month, which will go to January 31st. The reason for that is because we had a COVID outbreak at the Civic Center, and we are trying to do our best to control that. So that is the purpose of the closure. Second item was that city services will be closed in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. holiday next Monday on January 17th. However, trash collection will remain as is. And the last item that we're requesting the public is to not call 911 when you have a need for information about COVID testing, or COVID symptoms. 911 is starting to become inundated with calls about COVID, which 211 is probably a better device. Or what we'd recommend is going to the city's website or to the county's website at coronavirus-sd.com and getting information on the coronavirus. This will help keep our paramedics, our ambulances available for life-threatening emergencies and not for some of the other calls that they've been getting that are not life-threatening. So thank you very much.
How about our Assistant City Attorney, Walter Chung? Do you have anything tonight?
Just wish everyone a happy new year and looking forward to working with everyone and making 2022 a great year.
Thank you. And how about our City Clerk, Kathy Valdez?
Happy New Year, everyone.
Okay, with that, I'm going to go to, tonight I'm going to adjourn tonight's meeting in honor of Paul Eckert, who sadly passed away on January the 4th. Paul was a longtime resident, businessman, and volunteer who served on numerous organizations in and around Vista. Paul was very generous with the Vista Historical Society, the Boys and Girls Club, and the Moonlight Amphitheater. Paul also served as on the County Board of Supervisors for their years, for 8 years actually. And so I just wanted to adjourn in his honor and have prayers for his family and thoughts with them. And so with that, we are adjourned for the evening.
Thank you all.
Bye, everyone. See you at the end of the month.